So, this is just your casual reminder that the universe has invisible light. And that is where one of the most iconic telescopes comes into play, NuSTAR. So, on this very, very early morning, I just got invited to Caltech to visit their hub for NuSTAR. NuSTAR is led by Caltech and it's managed by NASA JPL. And it is literally the most iconic telescope that we've had forever. It's been collecting data for 14 years on things that we literally can't see. It observes deep X-rays like black holes, exploding stars, and even flares and neutron stars. It is the most incredible thing to be able to go to Caltech, talk to the scientists, observe the data, maybe even see where the magic happens. And I'm really excited to bring you along. I was thrilled to even be invited. This is my second day at the American Astronomical Society, so, dreams can come true. Just got back from my big tour at Caltech with NuSTAR, and it was so next level. Stop and tell you all about the things that I learned. Okay, so you may know that NuSTAR is a satellite telescope and it uses deep X-rays to see some of the most beautiful phenomenon in our universe, like black holes and neutron stars and even flares, and the shape of it is wildly different than any other satellite that we currently have up in space. It has its deep X-ray sections on the ends of a very long ladder system that has all these different lasers that click into place every time it is observing or looking at an object in our sky. Was a few things that are messing with the satellite, and it is making the scientists so sad. But we just went through a very big solar cycle called Solar Cycle 25. The solar flares were so large, in fact, that it has affected our satellites that are in space. When NuSTAR was launched in 2012, it was hitting an altitude above or in about around low Earth orbit. But because of these huge solar flares, not only about a few years after it was launched, but just more recently, starting in 2020, the craft has dropped significantly in space towards the atmosphere of Earth. And that's because the high heats of the solar flares create a thicker atmosphere. And when that thickness happens, it drops the altitude of the satellite. This is so terrifying for scientists because the only way to get it back up into space is to propel it using jets. And that is something that NASA is considering not only with NuSTAR, but mostly with Swift. And the project with Swift is called Swiftly. Okay, but wait, it actually gets crazier. So we know the Bermuda Triangle. Scientists call it the South Atlantic Anomaly. I am sure you've heard that before. And you may think that it only messes with ships. No. It messes with satellites and data. So what happens is that when the satellite, the NuSTAR, is going over the South Atlantic Anomaly or the Bermuda Triangle, there is high levels of electrons and protons, and they're called tentacles, and they reach up through our atmosphere into space. Massive holes in the data everywhere the Bermuda Triangle is. One of the scientists in the room, who is a pretty acclaimed astrophysicist, asked for that actual data because I guess the Bermuda Triangle is shrinking. He said, "This is all hearsay. This is not science. This is just talking behind the scenes in the room of where all the magic happens for data." If you are getting NuSTAR data, the scientists and the operations team is working very hard to scrub that noise out for you, and you can even use parameters to make sure that noise is not included in your data set. I mean, come on, they're making it so easy for us to study the universe. My favorite part was meeting the teams. I met scientists, I met the operations, I met the full-time person, the full-time scientist who is making sure that here in Pasadena at Caltech, we are receiving live data from NuSTAR. If you're ever in the area, please sign up for the tour. I think you'll get a lot out of it, even if you are just a space enthusiast and you just want to talk more about research and hang out with scientists. Who doesn't, right? So that was the magic today, and we're going to go join the conference again on day 2 of the American Astronomical Society conference in Pasadena. So come along with me. More magic and science is happening.